Big news. Oda just dropped some of the biggest bombs in the entire One Piece universe. In this video, I'm going to be continuing my review of the One Piece manga. So, without further ado, let's start this review of chapter 956. So, if you did not read this chapter yet, please skip this video because it was a bomb. So much happened. I'm just going to start off with probably one of the biggest things that happened, Sabo. So we get a lot of this off-panel stuff, and we don't see anything happen. We just see the publicity surrounding the rumor. Now, I'm hesitant to think that Sabo is actually dead. It is entirely possible, but my position is if Sabo honestly just died off screen, the character who was growing up with Luffy and Ace was given a whole scene, like his own deal in Dressrosa. It was a very big deal that he was back. And for him to just die off screen, if he really did die, this is not the last of it. I am very reluctant to just buy that this particular chapter is the end of Sabo. Now, would I be happy about that? Probably not, for a couple of reasons. One, I liked Sabo, and he was one of the brothers, so I liked seeing him around to help Luffy. And part of what was so cool about him being back was he's like, oh, I missed out on the big war to save Ace, and I'll never be able to fix that, but I can at least help Luffy. And then he just died off screen. So, I guess what I'm saying is, if this is true, I'm a little disappointed from a writing perspective because he was supposed to be there to help Luffy, and yeah, it's disappointing, but from an objective standpoint, that's it. He just died off screen, saving, oh my god. Saving his friend. That's it. I didn't love this part. It was obviously big news, but if this is true and this is the end of Sabo, I don't like it. I should also talk about the likelihood that he actually died. So we know he was saving Kuma. Finally remembered his name. And if my memory serves me well, we know that they got Kuma out, but we didn't actually see the rescue. So there was likely some sort of confrontation. That much is almost certain. But we know from the scene with Morgans that the government is somehow involved. At the very least, it happened in Mary Jo, and the government doesn't want people to find out that the revolutionaries were able to infiltrate Mary Jo, because that would obviously look bad for them. But this kind of reminds me of what happened with Moria after Marineford, where they took him out and they tried to make it look like just some pirate fight. So, could this be some sort of assassination? It could be. Again, this is all tingent on Sabo actually being dead. So, my guess is that scene with Morgans, the government just didn't want people to know that you could infiltrate Mary Jo like that. And then we have to talk about the abolition of the 7 warlord system. This was something that's been teased for a while now, but it actually happened. And I have to say, this was a total curveball, specifically for the warlords, because now it's illegal to do what they've been doing for almost 20 years, and especially someone like Mihawk, who kind of stays out of politics and the world and just keeps to himself. Like, now he's got like half the Marine fleet trying to arrest him or potentially kill him. By the way, all those scenes where they were trying to capture the warlords individually, they were all great. They were either absolutely hilarious, like with Buggy, or they were just so bad-ass, like with Mihawk, and specifically, I'm thinking, Hancock. Those scenes were like, all right, if you want to try and capture us, go ahead. It's not going to be easy. Oh, like specifically Mihawk, do they really think they're going to get him? He is the second strongest not second strongest, he is the strongest swordsman in the entire world. So even if they had the second strongest swordsman, which, sorry, Zoro isn't Wano, like, he's the strongest swordsman, and he doesn't have a devil fruit, so they can't just use Sea Stone to capture him. Like, what are they going to do to get somebody like Mihawk? I could see someone like Hancock, she has the devil fruit, so they could use Sea Stone on her and capture her, and Buggy too. But really, Mihawk? Like, how are you going to get Mihawk? I really hope that this isn't the last we see of this. Now, I do have to address the implications of everything that just happened in this chapter. Before, we had the alliance between Big Mom and Kaido, and now we have the abolition of the Seven Warlord system. And on top of that, potentially, the right-hand man of the Revolutionary Army just died. So, we have things that are being set in motion that are making the One Piece universe in a position for a war that will be exponentially bigger than Marineford. Now, as always, this could go a number of different ways. Like, with the Big Mom and Kaido alliance, nobody really knows what's going to happen with that. Like, they could perfectly get along, but they could also just decide to kill each other. With this, we don't know if all the warlords are just going to go to Impel Down. We don't know if they're going to start killing them left and right, which, let's be honest, it's not likely. They're just going to get killed. So, let's say, at the very least, the warlords are now in a position where they don't have to do whatever the government says. So, come the next world war, the next great war of One Piece, it's looking as if we're guessing that it's going to be something like Luffy versus the government, similar to Marineford, it's looking like Luffy is going to have every single pirate who was ever a warlord on his side. Not just Jinbei and Crocodile, Boa Hancock, Mihawk, probably Buggy. I don't know what's up with Weevil. His whole story is a mystery to me. But we're in a position where now come the next war, Luffy's going to have a majority of the people who are warlords on his side. So previously I was saying that whatever comes in the future was going to be like a mini scale version of Marineford. No, this is completely wrong. Whatever comes next in the future of One Piece is going to be exponentially bigger than anything we have ever seen. And I loved this chapter. And unfortunately, that is going to do it for my review. There were a lot of smaller things like Beji and X-Drake that I really liked about this chapter, but I don't want to spend time on that in this review. If you want to hear me talk about those specifically, reach out to me either in the comments or on Twitter, and I would love to talk about that. But if you enjoyed what I had to say, make sure you like this video and share it. It really does help me out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my future reviews as well as my other videos. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon.